So in this world, so those are called Apple, Android, Windows, and BlackBerry. So there's a few, there are many are there, but the most popular are this. And let's see what are the products of Apple. As we are going to develop applications on the Apple products, so we should know what are all the products of Apple now, right? So one is Mac machine. So to develop that Mac machine, we need to know Mac OS. And for iPod and Apple Watch, for Apple Watch, we need Apple Voice is there. So that's the ways to develop an application for Apple Voice. I mean Apple applications. I mean Apple Watch applications, and I have iPhone. So we all know that iOS. So we can make applications for iPhone and iPad, and even the Mac OS is meant for both MacBook Air and all the Mac desktops as well. And we have one more that is nothing but our Apple TV. So for that we have Apple TV OS is there. So for that, with the using of that Apple OS TV, I mean that OS, we can develop the applications for Apple TV as well. So these are the products of Apple, and here now we are learning iOS to develop an applications for iPhone and iPad. And if you want to develop an applications for Mac and Watch and TV, then they have their own separate OS are there, as I just told. So Mac OS and Apple iWatch, I mean iOS, I mean to say Watch OS and TV OS. So everyone have their own separate OS to develop their own applications. So let's getting into what exactly this iOS now. So it is recent. It's initially released in June 2007, and the programming languages is C, C++, and Objective-C programming language. And even there are so many, but primarily we can develop our applications. There's all iOS applications especially. So majority of the scenarios we use this C, C++, and Objective-C programming language. So I'd like to tell you that C and C++ is there from very, very long back. And Objective-C is released whenever this iPhone has been released to the world. And Swift programming has been released just from 3 years ago. Okay. So the current version of this Swift programming language is 3.0. So when this is released, this year 2016, June 13 to June 19, there is a worldwide developer conference which was held on in between, as I said, it's 13 to 19, and the location was in US. So there, in that time period, this WWDC from Apple. So every year in this June month, every year they used to conduct this WWDC. So they used to release some new features, new OS, and new devices to this world. Generally, in that period, in the WWDC conference, basically. Okay, so in that period, they have released this new Swift version, and there's so many things they have released, like the latest IDE. There's nothing but Xcode 8.0 beta, and they're going to they already released already this Mac OS as well. That's called Sierra. It's all beta versions. So this even Xcode 8 and Mac OS, they are going to release the standard version in this fall, in this year. And you can see the derived from Mac OS X. What does it mean? Here, iOS is 100% derived from Mac OS X. Means Mac OS X, I think you already know that by the time. So Mac OS is meant for developing apps for Mac applications. All right. So so you can understand that. So iOS is being inherited from Mac OS. Means what all the features are there in Mac OS, you can get maximum those features into iOS as well. But extra features like touch events are there in iOS that is not there in Mac OS. I think in future they are going to implement this touch flexibility into this Mac OS as well in the near future. So that was my expectations from Apple. And so this can be expanded to iPhone and extended to iPod Touch and iPad and Watch and all iTV. Okay. So look at this. This is some kind of architecture here. So how the app generally goes and how you're going to interact with the iPhone. Generally, this looks like this. So there are all apps are there, and then everything we did on iOS, it interact with the hardware of your iPhone. So let us say if you want to open camera, or if you want to access camera, what you do, we just hit the app icon of on top of camera. So this is what it goes generally. You're going to touch your app, and inside it's an iOS, and then it talks to the hardware, and then it returns some view for you. It's all a simple architecture. So let's see what are all the layers in this architecture. All right. So there are four layers in iOS architecture technology: core OS layer, core service layer, the media layer, and Cocoa Touch layer. I would like to tell you here. So even for the Mac OS also we'll be having we already have the same kind of layers, but they don't have any Cocoa Touch layer because it doesn't have touch flexibility in Mac OS. So we almost have same kind of layers, but except Cocoa Touch, they have only Cocoa layer but not touch. But in iOS we have Cocoa Touch, some extra feature. All right. So let's see in detail. And the picture on it from we have Cocoa Touch, Media, Core Service, and Core OS layer. Okay. And at this point, I would like to clear you guys. If you wanted to do iOS applications, means if you want to develop applications for iPhone or iPad, the only thing we need to know that is what are all the frameworks available in this iOS to develop an applications. So we should know first of all what are all the frameworks available. All right. So, and why I'm telling that all those points here is each and every framework they have been categorized and set under few layers. So on total we have 71 frameworks in iOS till iOS 9. I'm talking about till iOS 9 we have 71 frameworks. So all the 71 frameworks have been segregated into four layers. So based on their features that they're going to provide. So few frameworks were under Cocoa Touch, few frameworks were under Media, few frameworks were under Core Service, and few frameworks were under Core OS. That's it. So if you know the frameworks and if you know the classes inside that and if you know how to consume the methods, that's enough. That's enough for you to develop an application for iOS especially. Okay. And then look at this. We'd like to just see what are the things available in each and every layer. As I said, each and every layer contains frameworks. Okay, so I listed the few frameworks here. Hardware related things. As I said, camera, some motion related, and some Bluetooth related, and some device core related. So all those things will be related or kept under this layer called Core OS layer. And the frameworks are just for the namesake. Here we have few I listed out: Accelerate framework, and Code Bluetooth framework, and External Accessory framework. Okay, so these all relate to the device based and internals to the hardware accessories and all. Okay, and let's see what are the next layer contains. Core service layer contains have so many things like account frameworks, address books, code data, and few other things. Okay, these are core service layers. There are so many, but I'm just listing out very few here. And media layer. So by looking at this name, we can understand that what exactly it contains, what are the kind of frameworks available here, isn't it? So few things related to the graphics, and few things related to the audio, and few things related to the video, and few things related to the multimedia as well. It means all are the same, isn't it? And next, the last but not least, and the most important and the unique part of this iOS is Cocoa Touch layer, because this is the only thing which is gets a difference or makes difference from regular Mac OS, because Mac OS doesn't have this and iOS have this. So where we can have so many things here, where we're going to touch and feel all the things. So there are so many other frameworks under this Cocoa Touch. We'll see all in the remaining course. All right. All right. So till now we have seen what are the layers and what are the frameworks under each and every layer, and how they are helpful for us. Now let us go into the SDK of this iOS especially. Okay, it contains so many. Xcode, it's a wonderful tool for all the iOS developers. Wonderful tool. Having Xcode, instruments, and playground. And I'll be explaining each and everything in our regular course session. And iOS simulator, it's awesome where you can test your application immediately in all the devices, though you don't have real device with you on. And then iOS developer library, it's really awesome because here even if you don't know anything, if you just write some word, there will be having Apple has been provided full full-fledged documentation on that particular method or the class or even the keyword. Okay, so that thing has been provided. And Xcode tool, just now I said the same thing here. So it's a beautiful IDE, I mean integrated development environment, and it accepts so many languages. Okay, it can understand so many languages: C, C++, Objective C, and JavaScript, AppleScript, including Shell script as well, Python, Ruby, source code, and everything. So it's a so much intelligence and so much user friendly to all the developers, so that every once they start developing this Xcode, I really bet that no other IDE is really such a useful and so friendly, because they are really providing such a uh, beautiful, uh, friendly manner, and all the debugging points, and it's really easy to understand that and very easy to getting on in it. And we'll see all the things in future now. And now look at this. So here we have Xcode version. There are so many Xcode versions. As I said, Xcode is meant for, it's an IDE for us, so like Eclipse and all. And this is one of the IDE, as I said. So here the latest version, currently standard version is 7.3, right? And as I said in the last, uh, I mean June 13 to 19, they have released Xcode Beta 8.0. So that's a beta version, which is not a standard version. So they are going to release a new standard version this coming fall this year, but the standard version now is 7.3. So as I said, I mean, we just seen that Xcode versions. Let's see the iOS versions as well. So the latest current version is Xcode 9, means 9.3, and Xcode, few things like, as I said in the last WWDC, they have released iOS 10 dot something beta version. So as I said, they're going to release the standard version of this iOS 10 in the coming fall of this year, but the standard version is 9.3 for now. So these are the eligible devices on iOS 9. So from iOS 4S, it's supporting iOS 9 operating system on this. And see, introduction to iOS 10. iOS 10 has so many features here. So I'll be showing in my real course in the regular session, like what are the newly enhanced features and newly introduced features, and how the UI changes, or how the UI changed. There's so many things gets changed, like the load notifications completely changed the look and feel, and iMessenger is completely changed. It's more than I even WhatsApp. In WhatsApp, it's really by default WhatsApp is advanced, but on top of that, iMessenger is really advanced now. It given a lot of features I didn't find anywhere. It's really so much enhanced. So you'll feel that once you install iOS 10, once you're released into the world. And now there are few other things also there in iOS 10, like few beautiful frameworks. I would like to tell you that there are around 20 frameworks they have released at a time. They have released 20 frameworks. As I said, till iOS 9, just, I mean, 71 frameworks. And now in iOS 10, they have released 20 extra frameworks they have released to the world, to all the iOS developers, I mean to say. It means 30% of the framework they released at a time. So you can understand that what's the scope for iOS in the near future. All right, and not only this, one of the frameworks out of this 20 frameworks, I would like to tell you one small example here. One framework called Speech Framework. It's really speechless, seriously. So I already did a small example on it. So where we can just include the framework, and very small sort of code snippet is there. So by using some block programming inside that, so just by whatever you speak it, it will automatically converts into text format, and from there you can do what are the tasks. I'll tell you a small scenario here. So as I said, we have Uber, right? Uber, it's a cab booking app. Okay, there what we do, we just try to type some destination in the destination text field. So now you can develop your own application like that, where you don't need to type it. Just tap it and tell that. It will automatically understand whatever you're speaking, so that it will convert that speech to text, and then it will take the text to the Google or iOS, so that it will fetch the particular address and returns to your application. So this is a small use case I'm telling you. Okay. Likewise, there are so many applications. Even they have released new frameworks for local notifications as well. So till iOS 9, we have seen very little, like I mean to say, few frameworks are there. So like for the local notifications as well. So it shows the notifications in a standard format, but now it's more customized. More customized. You can see a lot of things in your lock screen as well. But when you get in a local notification, because it's completely customized and you can do so many things. You can insert few images and few icons in the notifications that you will see in iOS 10. So there are so many. So if you want to learn this iOS development, you can directly contact me or you can mail me so that I can help you to develop an iOS applications in the very short term. So with my experience and my knowledge, and just want to tell you that the objective of this demo was to study and enhance the knowledge about the iOS and mobile operating system, as I said, and the programming languages like Swift programming language and Objective C and hardware dependencies. Yeah, for this point, we need Mac OS to develop an Mac application. I mean to say Mac or iWatch or Apple TV. So few people, I mean few students, they may ask like, so can we develop applications on Windows machine? Yes, absolutely. But Windows will not support, or Windows cannot understand your I mean Xcode and all those things. For that, what you do, you just need to install Mac OS on your Windows by partitioning your Windows operating system using some VMware or some other tools. So then you can directly install Xcode and work on it in your Windows machine, having Mac OS as a partition. Okay, and software dependencies. To do this iOS, so the language, as I said, it's an Objective-C and Swift programming language. So the basics for this is C programming and C++ programming. Why I'm telling all those things is, if you know the C programming language, it really helps you to think your or improve your logical ability, right? So and then why I'm talking about the C++ is important is C++ is introduced this object oriented concepts. So if you're aware this object oriented and the C basics, that would be helpful for you to uh, uh, flexible with Objective C or Swift programming very easily. Even if you don't know that, it's not a big deal. I'm here to help you out for that. It's not at all big deal. It's just introducing the what exactly the C and what exactly the object oriented concepts. I'll be explaining in detail, and then as I told you that there are tools here. So the Xcode and instrumentations. Basically, Xcode is meant for it's an IDE, and instrumentations is for test your performance of your application. And as I said, simulator also is there. Simulator used to test your application look and feel, but not the performance. Performance having separate tools. As I said, it's instrumentations. And the library, it's an awesome where you can get the complete documentation of your classes, methods, and even the keywords as well. And the frameworks, it's awesome. Still, iOS 9 have 71 frameworks, and till iOS 10 just recently released 20 extra frameworks, as I said. The last point is the fact that all the information regarding this iOS, absolutely I cannot bound into this presentation. I have tried to cover almost all the points that I made study of iOS worthy in very short, absolutely. And you can find the complete course content in my app, that what you're going to see now. And if you want to complete videos and online training, you can contact me at my signature and after this slide. So if you have any questions and anything, you can directly contact me from my application itself, where we have a inquiry tab in the left panel of this application. So there you can just type your request and just send it. That will be reaching to my mail ID, and I'll be seeing that and responding you if you have any questions or if you want to do learn this iOS course from by your own within short time and very easiest way. So this is what my signature here. So you can contact me at iosdeveloper.ipa at gmail.com, and even I daily used to update the latest updates on my application and even at my blog as well. Apple Developer 1524 at blogspot.com and Apple Developer 1524 at wordpress.in. So yeah, actually it's .com. It's wrongly pressed. So anyhow, so in this application, what are the extra features I'm going to provide in my course? So in this iOS course, not only this course details I'm going to provide, I used to push some new information about Apple products and Apple updates and iOS codes, logical improvements, and interview tips, and few other things like source code related to the latest frameworks, sample codes. So I'm going to send you the complete links to you in the form of a push notification daily. So whenever I find any useful things, even that also I'll be sending to you to this application daily. So that will be really helpful for you to understand, to make yourself updated with the Apple and its updates. So, and even one more point I would like to tell you. So in general course of my course structure is, so whenever we do any kind of practical examples, so immediately I'll be publishing that application into the GitHub, so that you can just need to download that application, and then you need to enhance that application from the GitHub. So again, you can upload that code into the GitHub, so that it will be helpful for you to understand the first GitHub process internal ecosystem, and that will be helpful for you to understand that. And also you can enhance the application what I just published into the GitHub. All right. So likewise, we have I already predefined course details along with the practical examples. There's more than 40 applications are there. So 40 applications are perfectly matched to each and every topic, which are there in the remaining course. You can see the remaining course like basic version and intermediate version, advanced version. So in my application, right? So that's all from my end. And finally, if you want to develop any applications, you can contact me directly. And even even if you don't have any kind of Apple developer account, which is the cost of $99, uh, for initially I can provide that how it looks like, and what are the profiles are there, what are the certificates, and what are the prerequisites for you to develop an application. And the live publishing also I'll be providing for you, to understand what exactly the internal architecture is, and how to publish an application from the development to publishing that to the app store. So overall goal is learning the iOS language with the help of Objective-C and Swift, and publish into the app store. That's my destination towards this course. Thank you so much.